Hey guys, welcome to this channel. I am Rosa and I try out all of the makeup so that you don't have to. Today we are talking about this very reflective product from Becca. So we're talking about the Be a Light palette from Becca. This is going to be available from Sephora very shortly. Look at it, isn't it beautiful? And it's available in 2 different shades. Funnily enough, when I was gifted this product, I was actually gifted the darker palette and my friend Rachel was gifted the light palette. So we were able to swap that. This product is best described as a glowy filter in a palette. It's very different to what you might expect from Becca. And I think a lot of people might buy this thinking that it's going to give them the most blingy look in the world and actually be quite disappointed with it. So I wanted to give you a heads up so that you don't go in buying it with false expectations. So if you're interested in seeing all about this palette, then please stay tuned. Okay, so here we are. This is going to be a very difficult video to film because it's so reflective. But this is the Be a Light palette and I've got it in the shade light to medium. And the first thing you can see is the packaging is absolutely glorious. It's so shiny, but look, it's already got fingerprints all over it from my dirty makeup fingers. When you open up the palette, we have a really large mirror and the mirror actually says be fearless, but apparently there's like 6 or so different sayings. So it's just a random, whichever one you get in your palette. And then we have 2 large pans and then 2 small pans. And as I mentioned, this is a very different palette than what you would expect from Becca. I think what we think about when we think of Becca are the like super like glowy powders, like really powdery, really pigmented and really like very glowy. And this palette is a completely different beast, shall we say. These powders are exceptionally finely milled and they are very subtle in the way that they apply. All right, so starting with powder number 1, this one here is to brighten the entire face. Now, as I said, it's a completely different type of powder to what we're used to from Becca. And if I was going to compare it to anything else in the market, I would say that it's more like the Hourglass ambient powders than the Becca highlighters. So as I said, we've got this really creamy, smooth, finely milled highlighting powder that is intended to be used all over your face. Swatching it up, there's very little to see. It's just a very fine powder. Moving over to powder number 2, it's a slightly deeper looking powder. Again, very finely milled, even more fine than the other one, I might say. And this is your blurring powder. So again, this is designed to be used all over your face to blur imperfections, to blur pores, and to, again, give that really airbrush kind of look. Then we have these 2 marble shades, which is a blush and a contour shade. The contour shade looks quite soft. And obviously this colour is going to be different depending on whether you get the lighter palette or the darker palette. And then the blush is an incredibly glowy pink shade. So let's go ahead and apply some of the powders to my face. I have applied foundation and I have set it with a setting powder, and then I'm going to use these powders which are more like finishing powders. I'm going to grab a really nice fluffy powder brush, dip into powder number 1 a few times and just apply that all over the face, concentrating mostly on the center of my face where I want most of the light to be. I think if you are someone who is expecting this to be a really blingy kind of highlighty palette, you'll be disappointed. It is very different. I'm then going to use the same brush and grab some of the blurring powder, and this one has a lot more kick up than the other one did. The other one had no kick up whatsoever. And I'm going to sweep this over the skin. Now this one has a little bit more pigment to it, so you need to be careful not to use it too heavily. And it's given my face a little bit more luminosity, but not really anything significant. I grab a brush and dip into the bronzing contour powder. It's a very small pan, but your powder brush will just get into it. And you can see it's quite subtle. These powders feel like they're going to get, just the appearance of them makes them look like they're going to get hard pan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at the video. It's one of my most popular videos on this channel about how to get rid of hard pan. And then I'm going to dip into the blush, which I have to say, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but the blush pan is quite loose. I hope it doesn't fall out. Very glowy blush. I feel like maybe this blush has some of the Skin Perfector in it. Maybe that's some of the marbling. Alright, I'll be back in a minute to show you my finished look and then we can talk about this product. Alright, so I've done what I call my very simple Saturday look. I'm just heading out to the shop, so I'm not really going overboard, but the palette definitely gives a really nice soft finish to your skin. So if you're looking for something that is super glowy, it's going to give you a lot of bang for your buck, this is not the product you're looking for. If you are looking for something that is going to finish off the skin quite nicely, give a bit of glow and just give you an altogether rounded kind of glowy look, then you might be interested in this. I feel like if you're a really die-hard Becca fan, then you'll probably love it. But again, you might be a little bit disappointed in it. So this is retailing for $46 in the US. I don't have Aussie prices yet. I will put it on the screen if I grab it before this video goes live. But it will be available very shortly from Sephora. I really like it, but I don't know that it's going to be worth your money. I'm guessing it's going to be around this $60 to $70 mark. I like the palette. I was gifted the palette. I'm not sure that I would purchase it simply because I have quite a few products that are similar to it. But if you don't have anything like this and you are looking for something that will just give you a beautiful, almost filtered, glowy look to your skin, then this is one that I recommend. So hopefully this gives you a little bit more of an idea about what this palette is like. So check out the blog now to see swatches of all of these products in natural light, as well as I'm going to try and include some swatches of the darker palette on a friend's skin who has darker skin than mine. But otherwise, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for coming and spending a little bit of time with me in my little corner of the internet. I'll catch you next time. Bye.